Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you the player ratings from Manchester United's 4-1 defeat to Watford at Vicarage Road. So we'll start with David De Gea. I'll give David De Gea a 7 out of 10. De Gea saved 2 penalties. He also made some other good saves in the game. De Gea has done really well so far this season, to his credit. He did well in the 2-0 defeat to Man City before the international break. I recall De Gea making 4 very good saves in the first half of that game. There again though, in the City game, he was partly to blame for Bernardo Silva's goal. This season is De Gea's 11th season at Man United. He's been with us since the Alex Ferguson era. So he's been a long servant. De Gea has got under 2 years left on his contract and he receives £375,000 a week. Don't forget De Gea reclaimed the number 1 spot back, because in the summer he decided to cut short his holiday by 2 weeks to fight for the starting place, and he's determined to fight for his Man United future. He has won everything domestically at the football club and he's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he's going to get a 3 out of 10. I thought he was very poor today. Got caught out too many times on that right hand side. You know, Bissaka's had some good games this season. He's also had some bad games as well. I think the defensive side of his game is superb, but the attacking side of his game is poor. This season is Aaron Wan-Bissaka's 3rd full season at Man United. Got him for 50 million from Crystal Palace back in the summer of 2019. Victor Lindelof, he's going to get a 3 out of 10. Thought he was poor today. His positioning was terrible. And I've got my strong reservations about Victor Lindelof. I think Man United should sell him next year. I can't understand why he's ahead of Eric Bailly, because Eric Bailly is a far superior centre-half to Lindelof. Lindelof's been at Manchester United for 4.5 years. We got him from Benfica back in 2017 for 31 million. Harry Maguire, he's going to get a 2 out of 10. He was very poor today. Maguire got sent off in the game. Maguire's been terrible this season and he's been even worse since he come back from that calf injury. £80 million, what a waste of money. Man United overpaid for him. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment and he's the 2nd most expensive signing at the club behind Pogba. Moving on to Luke Shaw. He's going to get a 4 out of 10. Again, another poor performance by Luke Shaw. I think one of Watford's goals came from his side. Not so long ago, Luke Shaw had a concussion. He obviously got the concussion in the 2-0 defeat to Man City. He was poor against Man City. He was mainly to blame for Man City's 2nd goal by Bernardo Silva. Where's the Luke Shaw from last season? Because last season Luke Shaw was immense. He was far superior last season to how he has been so far this season. He's injury prone, is Shaw, which is a concern. Shaw's got under 2 years left on his contract. He's been our first choice left back for a while. He's been at Manchester United for 7.5 years, so he's been a long-serving player. I'm sure at some point, Shaw will regain his form. Matic, he's going to get a 3 out of 10. He was very, very poor today. He looks very sloppy on the ball. And he gave the ball away a lot. I think Manchester United are going to be selling Matic next year. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, he still seems to get his opportunities. Surprisingly enough, he's ahead of Van Der Beek in our midfield. Matic is the only predominant centre defensive mid we've got. He's been at Man United for 4.5 years. We got Matic from Chelsea back in 2017 for 40 million. Scott McTominay, he's going to get a 4 out of 10. He was poor today. He did get a yellow card in the game. McTominay was the one that conceded the penalty. McTominay, he's not good enough to represent the club. Even though he has had his good games at Man United, McTominay has been part of the club for a long time. He risen up our academy in that, and just after the first lockdown last year, he signed a new 5-year contract with Man United. Bruno Fernandez, he's going to get a 5 out of 10. His horrendous pass led to Watford's penalty. Fernandez didn't really do much in the game. Fernandez was also very poor in the 2-0 defeat to Man City before the international break. He's had quite a few games, Fernandez, where he has looked off the pace. But there again, in a lot of games, he's been very consistent. And he is one of the best signings we have made since Ferguson retired. Fernandez has been a Manchester United player for almost 2 years. We got him from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. Last season, he got named Player of the Year, and he's been named Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Earlier on this season, Fernandez did make it clear that he wants to stay at Man United. When Fernandez first came in, he said, "I've come to Man United to win trophies." At the moment, he's got a contract with the club till 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. Marcus Rashford, he's going to get a 4 out of 10. Rashford actually had a good chance in the game that produced a good save from Ben Foster. Is that the only shot we really had on target for the whole game? Rashford has done well in quite a few games since he's come back, but there's also been quite a few games where he's looked off the pace. At one point, Rashford was out with a shoulder injury for a while. And at one point, he had to have an operation on his shoulder. Most of the time now, Rashford plays on that left wing because that's where he's mostly effective. Rashford's been part of the club for a long time. He's been a United player since the age of 7. He's been in our senior squad since 2016, and he has got a contract with the club until 2023. Jaden Sancho, I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Yes, he had his moments in the game today where he did okay. At times he got into some decent positions and he made some good runs, but still not good enough. It was good to see Sancho start today because Sancho doesn't start a lot of games for Man United. Sancho's been poor in a lot of the games he has played in though, and I think Solskjaer is to blame. But was blameless today because he actually put Sancho in the correct position. He was on the right wing. But before, Solskjaer used to put Sancho on the left wing. I said Sancho will do well at Man United, providing that is used correctly. And it does take some players time to settle in. You know, we got Sancho in a deal worth 78 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till June 2026 as an option of a further year. Sancho did enjoy 4 good years with Borussia Dortmund. And I was hoping that what he did at Borussia Dortmund, he could replicate it at Manchester United. But so far, he hasn't really replicated it, has he? And Ronaldo, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Didn't really do much, obviously. Did get the assist for Donny Van Der Beek's goal. Ronaldo was anonymous in the 2-0 defeat to Man City because he got very little service in that game. He did have 2 good chances though against Man City. Ronaldo now has 2 assists since he re-signed, and he scored 9 goals for Man United in all competitions since he re-signed. Man United are relying on Ronaldo far too much. Like I said, you know, Ronaldo saved Solskjaer in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta. He netted twice in stoppage time at the end of both halves. He scored the winner in the reverse fixture against Atalanta at Old Trafford. He also scored the winner against Villarreal earlier on this season. Not so long ago, Ronaldo got named Player of the Month for October. And he got named Premier League Player of the Month back in September. So reflecting on that, he's got back-to-back awards. I think Ronaldo now will be regretting coming back to Manchester United. And obviously, before Ronaldo's mocked Solskjaer's tactics, he's obviously angry with what's going on at Man United at the moment. But yes, Ronaldo is the best player in the world overall because he's won 32 major trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. We got him for 19.8 million with add-ons included. You know, he wears the number 7 shirt. He's got a contract with Man United until 2023. There's an option of a further year. Now, obviously, we brought substitutions on in the game. We saw Donny Van Der Beek come on. Yes, he's going to get a 7 out of 10 from me. He made an impact when he came on. He was trying to make things happen. You know, he got in some decent positions as well, and he scored a goal. That's Van Der Beek's 2nd goal for Manchester United. Van Der Beek is leaving the club in January. The player himself has confirmed that. Van Der Beek has endured what a difficult year and a half or so at the club. You know, this season is his 2nd full season at Man United. I expected Van Der Beek to play a hell of a lot more than he has done. Because at the end of the day, we got him for 40 million with add-ons included. And he's got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year. And he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Jesse Lingard also came on in the game. I'll give him, a 6 out of 10. I actually thought Lingard would have started today's game. Prior to this game against Watford, Solskjaer did say that Lingard still remains part of his plans. But I reckon Lingard's leaving next year because not so long ago, like I updated you, it said Lingard's Man United future is in doubt after talks over a new contract collapsed. Lingard's current contract at Man United expires next summer. and it recently said Lingard could leave Man United for just £10 million. Better to cash in for him in January though, rather than let him go on a free next summer. West Ham want to re-sign Lingard. Don't forget the second half of last season, Lingard endured a 4-month loan spell with West Ham, and he made an impact. I'm hearing as well that Lingard wants to go abroad. Lingard's only made one start this season for Man United. That was the West Ham game in the Carabao Cup. Lingard's been part of the club for a long time now. He risen up our academy, and that he's had his good periods at Man United. He's also had his bad periods. Martial, he also came on in the game as well. I'll just give him a 5 out of 10. And Dalot came on in the game, and I'll give him a 4 out of 10. So that is your player ratings for Manchester United's 4-1 defeat to Watford. Manchester United were shocking today. Ollie didn't really say much, reflecting on the 4-1 defeat to Watford. I'm hearing that Solskjaer has apologised to the fans and admits he feels embarrassed after that 4-1 thrashing. Watford deserve credit. They were fantastic today. It's Watford's best performance this season by far. Ismail Assar, he got his name on the score sheet. As you all know, he missed 2 penalties. Obviously, it had to be retaken. Joshua King, he scored for Watford today. Joshua King's done really well so far this season for Watford. He was reuniting with Manchester United today. Joshua King is a former United player. Don't forget he was in our youth academy. Emmanuel Dennis, he made an impact for Watford today. He scored Watford's 4th goal and he got 2 assists in the game. They got Emmanuel Dennis in the summer. Pedro, he also got his name on the score sheet for Watford. Ben Foster, Watford's goalkeeper, got an assist. Ben Foster is the former Manchester United goalkeeper, so he was reuniting with Man United today. And Kiko, he also got an assist in the game. Prior to this game, Watford were sitting 17th in the Premier League. It's a massive win today for Watford. And let's put into the equation, Watford were missing players today. Obviously, there was no Christian Kabasele. He was out with injury. There was no Ken Sema. He was out with injury. There was no Peter Etibo. He was out with injury. Baha, he was out with injury. I think they had another injury as well. And they had a player suspended today. That was Juraj Kuka. But I certainly wasn't expecting this today. Not 4-1. I wasn't even expecting Watford to win the game. I thought Man United would have won the game. Reflecting on the loss today, Man United have now lost 4 of the last 5 in the league, and Man United are now 7th in the Premier League. Watford, their manager is Claudio Ranieri. They appointed Claudio Ranieri back in October on a 2-year deal. Obviously, at the time of the appointment, Watford were actually 15th in the league. Obviously, before Ranieri, Watford had Xisco, but obviously Watford decided to sack Xisco. Watford have obviously let players go. Don't forget they let Troy Deeney go to Birmingham in this year's summer transfer window. They let Craig Dawson go to West Ham. They also offloaded Will Hughes and Isaac Success. And they also loaned Andrew Gray out and they loaned Quinnia out. You know, Manchester United lost at Vicarage Road back in December 2019, 2-0. Man United missed some players today, but that's no excuse. Obviously, there was no Varane. He's out with a hamstring injury for 2 to 3 weeks. He is a big miss for United, to be fair. There was no Greenwood because Greenwood's got COVID. I've only just found out he got COVID. There was no Paul Pogba. You know, he's out with injury. He's going to be missing the rest of 2021. Pogba wouldn't have been able to play today even if he was fit because he was suspended. But now Pogba has served his 3-match ban. There was no Cavani today either because he's out with injury until December. You know, Manchester United's next game is Villarreal in the Champions League. That's going to be a massive game. Then after Villarreal, it's Chelsea. Chelsea's our next league game. So where do Manchester United go from here? Well, Manchester United must sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now. I don't think it will be long now before Manchester United have made a decision on Solskjaer's future. Prior to the game against Watford, like I updated you, Solskjaer held crisis talks with his senior players to save his job. And earlier on this week, it said Solskjaer refused to quit Man United despite senior players losing faith in tactics. And earlier on this week, it actually said Man United had made the decision on Solskjaer. Said they've decided to sack Solskjaer, but could still remain in charge until the end of the season. Solskjaer needs to resign, but despite today's defeat, I don't think he's going to resign. But a lot of United fans have said if he really cared about the club, he would resign. Manchester United have to pay Solskjaer around $7.5 million when they sack him because in the summer he signed a 3-year contract with the club with an option of a further year. I think there's a good chance that Brendan Rodgers will replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But there again, prior to this game, Sky Sports and ESPN said that Brendan Rodgers distances himself from the Man United job. You know, he said reports linking him with the Man United job were not true and he's proud to be at Leicester. Well, earlier on this week it said Brendan Rodgers is ready to say yes to Man United if he's offered the job. Not so long ago, Brendan Rodgers was house hunting in Cheshire. But you know, Brendan Rodgers is the favourite to replace Solskjaer. The Manchester Evening News said the other week that Man United are ready to trigger Brendan Rodgers' contract clause if Solskjaer gets sacked. And earlier on in the season it said Brendan Rodgers had already verbally agreed to become Man United's new manager, but his preference would be to wait until next season, as it said he's reluctant to leave Leicester midway through the season. You've got to admire what Rodgers has done at Leicester. You know, he's won the Community Shield and FA Cup with them so far. He's been in charge of Leicester for almost 3 years, and he's got a contract with Leicester till 2025. There again, though, Leicester have been very poor this season, so does that put some pressure on Brendan Rodgers at Leicester? Zinedine Zidane, he's also been spoken about as well. But I've actually disregarded Zidane now because reports said earlier on this week that Zidane rejected the Manchester United job as he's pretty much agreed to take the France job. But Zidane is not available until the summer because earlier on this week the Man United board held talks with Zidane, and Zidane let the board know that he doesn't feel ready for the Premier League at the moment and he prefers to take a break until the summer. You know, Man United hoped that Zidane's close relationships with Ronaldo and Varane, you know, could have persuaded him to join. And Ronaldo said he wants Zidane at Man United. He made that clear. But, you know, he did say at one point that Zidane was interested in the Man United job, but there was a problem anyway because Zidane's wife wasn't attracted to the idea of living in Manchester. Zidane is available. He left Real Madrid in the summer, and you've got to admire what he did at Real Madrid. He won a lot of trophies at Real Madrid, so reflecting on that, he's got a good pedigree behind him. And he's never managed in the Premier League, and it would be good for him to experience the Premier League. Pochettino and Erik ten Hag have also been mentioned as well. But Solskjaer, you know, when he gets sacked, he will be the 4th permanent manager to be sacked since Ferguson, because Man United have already sacked 3 managers since Ferguson sacked Moyes, sacked Van Gaal and sacked Jose Mourinho. Anyway guys, I'll be doing another video soon. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again soon.